Now try and talk, Judy.
How about now?
Perfect. There you go.
That's great. That's great.
That's awesome.
It was muted. No big deal. No big deal.
It is.
But the echo is
Echoes from the laptop.
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're good.
but if I put mine back on and mute it, can I, is that okay?
Yeah, just turn your sound off as well.
Oh, okay. Yep. Got it.
Because it only wants to have one source.
Now we all set?
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hey, it wouldn't be fun if it just went smooth.
It wouldn't. You're right.
You do have some messages in the chat though.
The chat box is a
You click on it, I think it
right
appears.
there.
It's just about muting. It's fine. You don't need it. It's just people telling you you're muted.
I think if you
Thanks.
should they make you the no, you can respond to the chat box. Just kidding. Hey, bye. Thanks for playing.
So you.
Job security.
All right, well, so I'm
That's
sorry
all right.
about that, guys, and, technical difficulties, but we'll get there, I promise. The first thing that we wanted to do is to introduce. So I think I was on the today's goals and objectives when we got messed up there. So our goal for today is to introduce you to each other, the Market Center team, and by the end of the session, you're going to be able to name the key players and their roles here. You're going to be able to name your mentor and when and how to reach her. We'll talk about daily habits and 10-4s. We're going to have Anthony help us with setting up and tracking our goals in Command. And we're going to talk about creating a value proposition statement and an elevator speech and understand the value of basic branding. So let's start off with meet and greet each other. So I would like to,
Oh, Lord.
what?
What's that?
Just exit.
Okay, let's go around the room, and if everyone can just introduce themselves, tell where you're from, whether you're working in real estate full-time or part-time, and then anything else you want to tell about yourself. Ashley, would you start?
Sure. Because I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
Oh, good.
Of course, you're gonna start with me because, all right. Well, my name is Ashley Paradise. I am from Gardner and I am a full-time agent. I'm a dog mom. That's pretty much all the important things. Yeah, dog is life.
And what have you done so far in real estate?
What have I done so far? I have created my own logo, branding. I've set up all my landing sites. Basically, I'm set up. I just need to take off. So like I gassed up the car. I just haven't turned it on yet.
Okay, perfect. Kathy?
So if you can't tell, I'm Judy's sister and I'm on her team and have been an agent for about 5 years. Retired before that. Retired from higher ed. I'm mostly a buyer's agent, but I'm also a filler. So I like to let the stager in, go to the photography, do the home inspections, those kinds of things. And I'm just having a great time. And I'm not technologically savvy because I'm too old for that. Forcing me beyond my comfort zone.
Well,
Way-
we're
Way
both,
beyond my comfort zone.
we're both a little uncomfortable when the voice thing wouldn't work this morning. So I don't know how much it has to do with age. But
Because she's younger, way younger. She likes to tell people.
absolutely, wouldn't you? Okay, let's keep going.
Mike Ledger, been with Keller Williams now for about 3 months. Been working on, lead generation, setting up social media, trying to build out my social media. Been working with other agents, doing a little bit of work on the side for them, keep myself busy, get a little bit of experience in the field. So kind of like Ashley, kind of working on the base to kind of accelerate my business now. And kind of grow within my first couple of months of the job.
Awesome.
Tim Schreiber, I've been on since May, got my license in May. I'm working part-time right now. The goal is to become full-time, but I have a full-time job I'm trying to retire from. I'm also setting up my sites and everything else, going out, meeting people, handing out cards, trying to have that conversation about real estate. And trying to grow.
Excellent. And you guys are going to try to remember one thing about each person in the class. So.
You should have told me that so I could have started writing
No,
it down. You wanted me to remember
I
how to
don't
do
want.
the intro, I would do the intro.
Well, Mark, go ahead.
Mark Curley, from Leominster, been an agent since, working part-time right now. And yeah, just kind of trying to get things going. Basically what I've been doing, I have social media and stuff set up. And I try to fill in with as many agents as I can. It's kind of been my strategy.
Okay. Jamie?
I'm Jamie Sleeper. I've been here for about a couple months. So I'm working real estate part-time and part-time at a doggy daycare.
Well, there you go.
See, you'll remember that.
I will remember that.
I've just been trying to start up and help other agents with things that they need.
Okay, great. All right, so let's go to you Zoom people. Stephanie, why don't we start with you?
I am Stephanie Porter. I'm on the Scotland team with Judy and Kathy. I'm a part-time agent. I have been for over a year now. And I'm licensed both in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And that's about it.
Awesome. Tim?
Hi, my name's Tim Machensky. I'm from Lunenburg. I've just started with Keller Williams just within the last few weeks. This is all new to me. I've been a business consultant for the automotive industry for a little bit, pretty much since COVID, and I'm having a hard time shaking loose from that to devote my plans to do real estate full time, and my clients keep pulling me back in. So I'm having a hard time severing from that. But the plan is to do real estate full time. I've set up my webpage. I've set up a social media, 2 social media sites. I've started to get my plans in place. It's just like Ashley said, the gas is in the tank. Just got to start driving.
Yep. So probably the reason why you can't get away from your clients is because you're good at your job, I'm assuming.
I keep picking up the phone. I can't say no.
Well, that's what we all do, I think. Jessica, you're next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Valero Healy. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm working from home today at my other job, so that answers one of the questions as well. I can't put the camera on, but I have 2 distracting dogs. Just like Ashley, I am a dog mom. I was brought up in Sudbury, but I live in Bolton currently. And yeah, I would say I do real estate, even though I claim it's like my part-time job. It's really full-time when you have clients. You have to make yourself kind of available and be out in the market. So I always joke that I work 2 full-time jobs, which is no joke. But I love what I do. I've been an agent since 2014, but I was with Coldwell Banker before joining on Keller Williams about 3 years ago coming up.
Okay, that's awesome. And do you want to tell them what your other job is?
Sure. I work in contracting and construction. So I work for an installation company and I do interior design and staging. So basically custom closets, mantles and surround, shower doors, mirrors. So if you ever need something right before closing, let me know. Plug.
Yes, that's good. Raj, can you unmute? Are you able to? Okay, we're going to keep going. Chelsea, you're next.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Escareno. I'm from Fitchburg and I just started with Keller Williams in June. It's been an okay ride. I'm still learning, adjusting, so that's all.
Okay, and Amy?
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. So my name is Amy Curl and I've been an agent. I've had my license for 2 years, but I've only been a practicing agent for about a year. And then the whole COVID and kids home has certainly made it a little bit more difficult. So they've all kind of gone back, so we can kind of get back into the swing of things a little bit.
Awesome. And Anthony, last but not least.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I'm Anthony Zuzio. I think I've met 99.9% of you already, but I've been with KW my whole career for 5.5 years now. Market Center Tech Trainer. I'm also an agent. I served on the ALC this year. And that's about it. I guess the fun fact is I get married on Friday. So that's
Yes.
my big thing. Yeah.
So I can't even
Congratulations.
believe he's here helping us
I
today.
know. That's awesome.
Thank you, Anthony.
You're very welcome.
Can you tell us what the ALC is? Because some of these agents may not remember from orientation what we.
Yeah,
talked about.
definitely. Yeah. So ALC stands for the Associate Leadership Council. It's the top 20% of our office gets invited. Doesn't mean the whole top 20% serve. They are selected. And then they're kind of the voting party for the office. So we have an office set up, and actually all of Keller Williams is set up so that the person in charge of the market center can't make all the decisions. They have to work hand in hand with the agents, and that's what the ALC does. So any type of decision making that happens for our office, it happens through the agents, which I think is a pretty awesome thing.
Yep, I agree. I agree. And so you guys should all strive to be invited to be on the ALC. That means you've made it to the top 20% of the company and that you are considered a potential leader. And so, as I told you in orientation, call those ALC members, start developing a rapport with them, ask them if you can help them with open houses, learn from them, ask them if they were brand new in real estate, if they were giving themselves advice, what would they tell them to do to get started and become successful agents? And they are your gold nuggets. So if you haven't called them and introduced yourself to them, do that. I know that Ashley has had an appointment with one or two of them. How did that work for you, Ashley?
Pretty good.
Yep.
It was like a verbal kick in the ass, but that's okay.
Well, sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
I have one other recommendation too.
Yes.
The ALC meetings, we have one every month. That's something that you all can go to. You can't participate in it verbally or really say anything, but you're welcome to be a fly on the wall. We'd prefer you to be there than not. So if you want to come listen to what we talk about every month and how we look at our businesses, I'd recommend that too, because then you can start thinking about, oh, this is what we're paying attention to every month.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have one more recommendation, and that is to join a committee. There's no better way to develop a relationship with other agents in the office than to be on a committee with them. So go to an ALC meeting, learn about the different committees, and then if you have a chance, volunteer, either volunteer to be a member or volunteer to help when they need help, if you don't have time to be a full member. But honestly, get involved. You guys are going to be successful basically because of who you're looking up to and who you're emulating. And so all of those people are the cream of the cream. And you want to learn from them. So do whatever you have to do to be around them. And hang out in the office. That would be my other recommendation. Because I can tell you right now, you will get business just by hanging around in the office and by being available. So that's my story. Let's do introductions to the Market Center. Hi, Raj. Raj, do you want to introduce yourself since you walked in at the end of our introduction?
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure, right?
Just say hello.
Good morning, my name is Raj Sidhu, and I started like 3-4 months ago. And I was in my on business like over 25-30 years. And I have 3 master's degrees and 1 diploma in management. I didn't finish it because I came in here. I came as a student in 90s. And I'm a multilingual, not bilingual. So, and I'm excited. I have like real background in economics, geography, and city planning. So I'm excited to do like what can be done. I couldn't do it like a long time. I was stuck in my work environment. So finally I sold everything. So I want to do it full time.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. That's great. Kathy, what are we doing next?
We're talking about the market center in the peeps, the team here.
Okay. All right. So does everybody know that our operating principal or main owner of the market center is Rochelle Johnswald? You guys all know that? Has anybody
Yeah.
talked to her? Okay, well, that's probably because she's not always around. Rochelle lives in Utah in the winter and Vermont in the summer, but she's here now and she actually will be coming down probably once a week while she's here. She's been in the last couple of weeks on Wednesdays. So if you're around on Wednesdays and you see her walking around, introduce yourself and she'd love to have a conversation with you, I'm sure. And of course, Mark is our team leader. And, you know, I don't know what to say about Mark, except that he is a great guy and easy to talk to and always has good advice for you. So you can always reach any of us, but if you can't reach me, I would go to Mark next. However, planning ahead so that you can wait for my response to you guys is going to be the key to your success, I think. So if you know you're going out showing property on a Tuesday, call me on Monday and talk about it with me on Monday. Get an offer, practice offers, all set up just in case. And then really you're ready to go. So try to do things ahead of time. We have Linda Anderson next. Who can tell me what Linda's job is? Anyone?
She is a mystery. I know she sends out, I know she sends back deposits when deals fall through.
She makes sure you get paid.
She also makes sure we get paid.
She absolutely does make sure you get paid. And so there's a couple of things that I want to tell you about that. So Linda will be the final say on your compliance. You know how you're supposed to have me go over all your documents before you get them signed? Well, you're also supposed to have me go through all your documents once you have 3 folders in Command. And once as each folder is completed and you have all the required documents in there, you should be asking me to review it. And then I will review and approve all those documents so that when Linda gets them, all she has to do is quickly run through them and make sure I didn't miss anything, which is great. We always want to protect you as well as we can. Doubly is even better. And you'll get paid faster. So as soon as you've got one of those folder sections finished, have me look at it and I'll approve those documents. And then when it's time to get paid, and Linda's the one that's going to pay you guys, all she has to do is, basically rubber stamp it. So Linda's going to look at your compliance. She's also going to pay you. She's going to hold the escrow money and do all the accounting for the office. And she runs the front desk, really. She's in charge of the front desk and the operations here. And Anthony, I'm going to let you tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a market center tech trainer, formerly known as the tech ambassador. That changed a little bit when we started making our own technology. So what I'm in charge of is doing any type of training on new updates to Command or any of our software, doing one-on-one business training. So actually taking all the models from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and then applying that to your business through systems. So how do we actually apply that and make those living things? And that's really my job. So mainly
Awesome.
training and coaching.
Yep, that's awesome. And not this week, but
Not-
normally Anthony has tech training on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock, right, Anthony?
Yep. Yep, so there's a Zoom in the calendar. Anyone's welcome to hop on, even if it's for 3 minutes. You just want to ask one question and leave, I'm more than happy to help.
Yeah, and pretty much you just keep it as an open forum, right?
Yeah, and I've actually had a few people who consistently go on that every week, so I appreciate you very much. But if you got nothing to talk about and you just hop on and want to like pick my brain, even if it's not completely tech, but it's real estate, I'm open to it. So
That's great. And then we have Kat and Pam. Kat and Pam are at the front desk. They're our directors of First Impressions, and actually Pam is also the assistant market center administrator. So when Linda's not around, Pam covers for her. Both of them run the front desk as well, and they can answer a lot of your questions. If you have people coming in to meet with you, you can let them know, and they'll bring them to the conference room or wherever you want to have them. You know, they're there to help you, and they are great at what they do. So let them help you and be a part of your real estate world. It makes us look more professional when we keep them posted as to what's going on around here, and then they can help us look more professional.
And 3 out of 4 of them are real estate agents themselves.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Linda is a real estate agent. Kat is, Mark is, I am, Rochelle is. So we can all help you with real estate too. But I don't recommend you run in at the last minute and start looking for help. Get your help ahead of time so that you're not feeling stressed and frazzled. Okay. Then you have Sharon, who is the assistant to the mentoring and coaching program, and me. So if Sharon is here or weekly, she's calling a lot of you and checking in. If you have something you need me to know, or you want to make an appointment with me, she will help you do that. The best thing to do, if you're uncomfortable, like say you have to get a buyer's packet or a listing packet ready, and you're just uncomfortable, you've watched the videos, you've been to the class, but it's your first time and you want hand holding, make an appointment. Either call me, text me, call Sharon, or wait until she calls you and make an appointment with her and say, you know, I need an appointment to learn X. The more we know about what you need, the more we'll help you. But you got to reach out to us. It's your responsibility to ask for the help that you need.
So Judy, how long does it usually take to get back to somebody once you get a phone call?
Oh, I usually get back to them within an hour if I possibly can. I mean, there have been times where I'm in a conference or I'm in a class. I won't distract from the class by even looking at my phone. So I may not see your request right away, but it'll always be the same day at the very least. Good question. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, then I guess you're all experts on who we are and what we do. Because I think we're going to have a game, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about becoming successful. Success in real estate is really by repeating your systems and your routines over and over and over again. Now, what we teach you in Ignite is that we want you to do your daily 10-4s every single day. Can somebody tell me what the daily 10-4s are? Nobody can tell me? Even though it's written up there on the wall.
It's those 4 habits you're supposed to do each one 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those 4 habits. That's exactly right, Mark. Thank you. So what we want you to do every day that you work, and I want you to, when Anthony talks to you about your goals, he's going to tell you how many appointments you need every week to complete your goals. And it all goes back to this daily 10-4. If you're trying to work full-time and be full-time successful, You can call 10 people a day or meet with 10 people a day, or you can meet with 2 people a day, or you can meet with 20. It's all about your goals. And once in Ignite, we try to get you to do 10 every day. And the reason for that is we want you to build good daily habits. If you are telling me that you have a full-time job and you just can't do 10 a day, and I only want to do 2 a day, or I only want to do 5 a week, whatever that case may be, we're going to teach you about time blocking. And if you're not lead generating, you're not going to have a successful business. Whether success for you is 6 transactions a year or 26 transactions or 100 transactions a year, you've got to set that goal and you've got to time block your daily routines. And the biggest part of your daily routines needs to be lead generating. And that means you have to grow your database. And how you grow your database is by putting new contacts in there. And so when we say we want you to make 10 contacts a day, you can do it on the phone. You can go out and meet with people, but you got to collect their information. And you have to have permission to talk to them about real estate occasionally. So start with 10 and work down or up from there based on your success rate in conversion. The next thing is, once you speak to those 10 people, we want you to collect their information and put them in your database. You're growing your database. By growing your database, that's going to give you future business. And you're going to learn how to communicate with them in a way that makes them want to come back, and in a consistent way that makes them want to come back and give you business and bring you referrals. So put them in your database. After you've spoken with someone for the first time about real estate, had a meaningful real estate conversation with them, send them a handwritten note. That's the third thing on the list. Why do we send handwritten notes? Can anybody tell me? Ashley?
It's a personal touch that shows you care.
Absolutely. And guess what else? No one else is doing it. Some of you guys that have been through our training are doing it, and you'll get lazy eventually, and you probably won't do it consistently. So if any of you does that consistently, you're going to be a step above most of us. So that's the third thing that makes you stand out. And the fourth thing that makes you stand out is know your market. Preview 10 homes a week. Now, I'm not telling you to call an agent and make an appointment to go and see a occupied home. I'm telling you, go to open houses, do drive-bys, research online the properties in your locations that you want to specialize in, and preview vacant properties. I don't want you to make appointments to displace homeowners unless you actually have a client that's looking for that property, that type of property. And then if you're previewing homes for them, that's fine. Otherwise, go show properties. That's a great way to preview them. But you want to become the expert in whatever town or area or niche that you guys are going to choose to focus on. So that's your 10 fours.
Well, could I just say, I send myself a daily email with everything that comes on the market in the towns that I usually work. So when you do that, you get to see every listing that comes on the market. I also just pull up a town and go through every listing a lot of times. Or now I have clients who are looking for multifamilies. I send them, Judy sends them hourly emails because they've missed out on properties before that have been gone in the amount of time it took us to make an appointment and go the next day, the property was gone. So we now see them the minute they come on the market. But that's a great way to preview homes, is just to sit in your office and click through the MLS listings until you can look at a property and go, oh, that one's overpriced. You know, it's been on the market too many days, or there's something going on with that one. So.
Yeah, and if you really are interested, do drive-bys, even if you can't get into them, because you'll be surprised what they don't show in the pictures. right? You may think that this house, I don't know why that house is not selling. It looks so awesome. And then you go drive by it and there's something bad next door to it. That-
Or it's sitting on the sidewalk, no parking, it's a multifamily with no parking.
Right, so when I say preview homes to become the expert in your area, you can choose a niche like multifamilies, waterfront homes, anything like that. Or you can choose a location. Or, you know, any combination thereof. Like, I want to be the waterfront expert in these 3 towns, or I want to be the multifamily expert in these 5 towns. Whatever it is, you want to become the expert. You want people to call on you because you can give them value that no one else can. When Kelly first started, and I like to use her for an example because she's really, really got a niche. Not that she won't sell any kind of property, but if you want to know about multifamilies, you go to Kelly. Because she has
Does everybody know who Kelly is?
Kelly O'Keefe. You guys have you all met her? Okay, so Kelly O'Keefe, yeah, she knows pretty much almost everything there is to know about. And she can usually give you a price off the top of her head. And she'll follow it up by backing it up with research, of course, but that's her niche. And she'll do that in any town. She doesn't care. Although she started off in the Fitchburg area. And believe it or not, people used to say, oh, I don't want to sell multifamilies in Fitchburg. You're going to have to sell 4 for every one you could sell in some other place, right? But guess what? She's one of our top producing agents just because she chose to work with investors and she chose to become the expert. And they call her daily. She gets phone calls saying, I heard you were the expert in multifamilies. And so become that, you guys, whatever you want to choose. Is it a location? Is it a type of property? Whatever it is, become the expert. So that's enough probably on daily 10-4s because I kind of took.
Then it's Anthony's turn.
Anthony's turn. Hey, Anthony, I put the thing that you sent me, I've got that, I can pull that tab up for you if you want, or we can pull up the sheet that I sent you, whichever you prefer.
You can allow me to screen share.
Yes.
That would be easier because I have it up too.
I think I'm automatically set up for you to screen share. Can you tell
No,
me?
it's currently blocked. But if you
Oh.
go right next to the screen share button and there's a little arrow up, you can allow it.
I think Kathy has to do it.
Well, I can't see, so tell me where.
The little.
Oh, well, you also have to probably stop sharing.
Oh, stop sharing?
Mhm.
So click the red button.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, and now click on the green button
Not the green button, but the little arrow next to it.
next.
The little arrow next to the share screen.
Oh, that's my.
Yeah,
problem.
right there.
Click.
Okay,
And then there's going to be an allow right near the bottom of that window. You're going to see an allow guest to share.
Yeah, allow all
Show me when I get to
participants
it.
right
You're
there.
Click.
Click on that. There you go.
There you go. You're good.
You got it?
Got it.
All right, so Anthony's gonna teach you now about goal setting and
There's an
Anthony.
X for that pop-up box.
Okay, is it in the corner?
It's on the
Other
other
corner.
corner.
Over here.
Click.
Anthony, if you want to take, we were going to ask you to do goal setting, and then I think your second thing we were going to talk about was
Profiles.
What?
Profiles.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you want to do both of those in case you need to get off for some reason.
Yep, I'm good with that. Perfect. So I think this is the easiest way to break this down. And I know I've had this conversation with a few of you, but it's good practice just to see how the numbers work out. And looking at the economic model in the MREA, and we're going to do some math. So if you follow along or you get stuck, just let me know, but I'm probably going to pick on one of you if you're okay sharing your numbers. So
Yeah, we want you to do this. So we want you to be, fill those numbers out because this is the way you're going to start deciding how many phone calls do I need to make a week?
mhm. And so is anyone willing to share how much they want to make next year?
No.
Stop looking at me. I participated enough for everyone.
Okay. I wasn't gonna say it.
All right.
What
I'll-
I'd like to make or what I actually think I can make?
What you want to. It's a goal. It's not what you.
75,000.
What is it?
75,000.
$75,000? All right, perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna work down this chart. So it's gonna flow really well.
You want
So
me to write stuff on the board, Anthony?
if you want to show it for them, go for it. Yeah,
Okay,
for the people there, that's fine.
okay.
So at the very top where it says net income, that's what you want to take home or your profit for your business.
And so was that 75,000?
Just wants 75, that's correct. And can everyone see my calculator?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I feel like if I show the calculator, you can also follow along doing those steps. So Jess wants to make $75,000. That is going to be 40% of her total GCI or gross commission income. So if you want to take your number, if everyone has a number in mind, just divide that by 0.4.
Where does that number go?
That number goes in the total GCI. And there's a reason I skipped those middle two, and I'll tell you why. So 40% of 187,500 is $75,000. That's how you're going to get your net income. So whatever number you just got as your total GCI or what you should make, I want you to times that by 0.3. And you're going to get those two numbers below your net income. So your net income, 75,000, your operating expenses are going to be 56,250, Jess. And your cost of sale is going to be 56,250. I'm going to probably urge you to just recognize these numbers aren't like in stone. Your cost of sale is going to include like your cap. So we know that's $22,000 of 56.
So Anthony, operating expenses was what number?
56,250. And the cost of sale is 56,250 because they're both 30%. So for cost of sale, we know your cap's one of those. So that's 22 grand. So then you have $34,250 in other costs of sale or things that you pay for throughout a deal. And that would be like right when it happens. My experience is you're not going to be spending $34,000 on cost of sale items like gifts or anything like that. So just know that within these two categories, operating expenses and cost of sale, you do have control. So if you keep your business lean, you don't have to do $187,000 in GCI. You might get away with 120 or 140, but know that the model shows that 40% is kind of the goal. If you're taking home 40% of what you produce, you're kind of in the gold standard.
So Anthony, how do they figure out if they're brand new agents, what those numbers should be? Because those of us that have been in business a while can actually figure out what our actual numbers are, right?
Yep.
Not what our projected numbers are here and here. But those of you that are brand new in business, do you just recommend they leave them as the model calls for?
I would take them as the model because what you're going to find out is you're going to be doing better than the model because you guys don't have crazy expenses. You know, if you make $10,000, I highly doubt you're all spending $3,000 in marketing and advertising and photography and all those things. Like that would be a lot for you to be spending off one $10,000 check.
Yeah.
But I would recommend take $4,000 of that to yourself because that's the model, that 40%. Take 4,000 for yourself and put the other 6 back into your business to let it grow. And that's how I kind of ran my business.
That's kind of like salary.
Yep, exactly. So then you know you're running within the model, and if your business has a bunch of excess money in it, that's great. But be reliant on taking 40% of your checks for yourself, because then you can also store away 30% of that for taxes, because we know that's going to come up at some point.
So which box do taxes go in? Do they go into operating expenses or cost of
So
sale?
I personally believe they're going to go into cost of sale. And just note, this chart isn't based on any taxes, so they don't really account for that here.
Oh, okay.
They're not really talking about that portion, unfortunately, but it's a good practice to have of like 40% for me, 30% for the government. And then talk to your accountant, because I can't give you recommendations on that, on what to do with those.
So Anthony, if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, if I made $5,000 on a transaction, I should be putting $2,000 in my salary account
Yeah, yep, exactly.
and $3,000 back into business.
Yep,
Okay, you guys got that?
yep.
Got it.
And that's like the basic, like that's just
Yeah.
a starting point.
Well,
Once
once they've been in business a while.
Yep.
then they use real numbers, but for now,
Yeah.
honestly,
you-
that's.
And as you go, you'll get an understanding of how that cash moves and when you set up your business accounts and how the money flows and what you need each month. So.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do, and Judy, I'm going to let you help me out with this. So I looked up Worcester County's average sale price this morning.
Yep.
But last year it was $365. This year it's $440.
Wow.
Wow.
In our part of Worcester County, the northern half, it tends to be a little less. You know, it's a little lower, so I don't know if we'd go 440 as our average, but what would you think we'd aim for as an average sale
I
price?
mean, what if we aim for 400?
400? All right,
And then
perfect.
that way, we're hitting the low end and the high end, and we're hopefully going to do better than that.
Perfect. I like that. So we're gonna have 400,000, and what's our average commission rate that we want to aim for? Probably 2.5.
I'd say,
I wouldn't
I'd
say
say
3 if you're on the buy side a lot.
2 to 3.
yeah. If we do 2.5 and we happen to make 3% because we took a listing and we decided we were gonna pay ourselves 3%, then
Averages off the 2s from all the buy side. Yeah.
yeah,
All right, so we'll do 2.5.
okay.
So we got, oops, sorry guys, 400,000 times 0.025. And that's an average of $10,000 commission. So that next line right under total GCI, our average commission is going to be $10,000. So can we remind me what that number was? 187,500
Yep.
Yeah.
divided by 10. So we need to sell 18, let's call it 20 houses, because I like rounding up and then up one more.
So Jessica needs to sell 20 houses in her next 12 months, if that's what she wants her income to be.
Mhm.
75,000 net, right?
Exactly. So right under average commission amount, we're going total units sold 20. Hey Jess, what's your split on listings and buys right now? Like how many buyers do you do versus sellers?
Probably say like 85% buyers, 15% sellers right now.
Okay,
Last year,
So-
more sellers.
let's do 80-20, so the math is a little easier.
Okay, so what are we doing now?
So
we're doing
when we look
80-20
down the chart, it's gonna split in half, right? So we got sell side, buy side.
Sell side by side,
So
okay,
the book in MREA is gonna say you're probably 50-50. That's what they do the math on because it's easy, but let's just for Jess, let's go 4 units are gonna be on the sell side.
okay,
And 16 units on the buy side. So if you're 80% buy, you're gonna be 16 on the buy, 4 on the list.
so you guys are doing this for yourselves, right? With your numbers plugged in? Does anybody need any help? Does anybody have any questions?
All right, so we're gonna go, if everyone's good, we got 80% sell, 80% buy side, 20% sell side. That means total seller listings sold for Jess is 4, total buy listings sold for buyer is 16. And now we're gonna do conversion rates. So what they're asking is of the amount of buyers you take, how many do you actually sell? So if you sell 16, which is our goal, how many are you going to have to take? So if you do 80%, right? Let's say for every buyer you take, 80% of them actually end up buying. That is 16 people divided by 0.8 is 20. So you would have to actually get 20 buyers to hire you. So if you go down that list on that buy side again, the conversion rate is going to be 80%, which means total buyers listing needed is 20.
So that means so your buyers might fall out, and the average was what, Anthony?
I did 80% will sell.
Okay, so but is that the model average?
In our market, no.
What
In
do you
the
think?
in the average market, yeah.
Okay,
So we're in weird times. I'm not going to count this year as the norm, and we don't know what's going to happen next year. So I'm just going to stick to the 80.
so I think what you guys will find is your average your average conversion rate was probably less than 80%.
Yes, I know mine was about 60, 55.
Yep,
So every buyer I took, basically I could count on half of them buying.
yep. And that's not anything to do with you not being good agents. It has to do with the market. And they get frustrated and they lose out on several offers.
Well, there
and-
are properties for sale.
Yeah, and so they give up and they go away. So you might want to use a lower number than 80% if you're really trying to figure out what your numbers are gonna be.
Mhm.
So say you
Yes,
put it
ma'am.
at 50%, does that mean they have to have 40 buyers? I mean, oh, sorry, 32 buyers in order to make 16 units, Anthony?
Say that again.
If their average conversion rate is 50%,
50%, that's 32.
32, yep. So figure that out, guys, and I would use 50 just to be conservative.
Mhm.
At this point in your careers, because you don't have enough of your own information to gauge it off of.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So I'm going to go down that list one more level, and it's the percentage of appointment conversion rate. So now we're saying if you have an appointment, how likely do they actually sign with you?
Okay,
And so I would go 90% on that.
okay.
So
We're at 32 appointments. If it's 50%, right?
So yeah, we got 32, well, 32 exclusives. So people actually who sign with you, 32 exclusives.
Gotcha.
And if you take 90% of the people you actually have a consultation with, that means 36. Let's call it 36 listing appointments with buyers.
How did we get there?
So divide by 0.9 if you take 90% of your listings.
So they have to do 36 consultations.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, and how about the seller one? Can we do that math?
Yep. So we said her percentage of sellers was 20, which was a total seller listing sold of 4.
Yep.
Let's say her sold conversion rate. This one we could do 90% because of the market. We'd probably do 100, honestly, because houses will sell. So let's just do 90% though. So if she has 4 listings sold, we divide that by 0.9. We'll just call it 5.
Okay,
So you need to take 5 listings, and let's say that you actually convert 90% as well. You need 6 appointments.
so she only needs 6 listing appointments in a year
Yep. And then what did we say? 36 buyer appointments.
and 36 buyer appointments.
So if you're working at a consultation a week, you only need to work 42 weeks this year. So if your goal every week is I'm taking 1 consultation, buy or sell, you have 10 weeks off of vacation.
How's that sound? Does anybody want to share their numbers? that they found as they were going through?
I was trying to track this, I wasn't.
Okay.
Well, 75 is a good number.
Well, you know what, if you guys, I mean, some of you are working part-time, if you wanna just, you know, divide this by 2, you can do that,
Right.
you know, and go by that, and divide everything by 2 along the way, then you'll know.
And you wanna know my favorite part about this is we started at the top with the end in mind of how much you wanna make. If you're
Right.
someone who's part-time and you're like, oh, I can only probably go on like, I don't know, appointment a month. I have a full-time job and I might get an appointment a month. So put 12 appointments on each side of that, or 6 and 6, and then run the numbers up to the top and how much you would make if you only did 1 appointment a month.
Right, you can start at any blank is basically what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know if I had 6 appointments on each side per year, I converted 90% of those, I'm taking 5 listings on each side. And if 90% of those close, I got 4 closings on each side.
There you go.
And that's $10,000 commission each. That's $80,000 in GCI.
Right, so can we talk a little about the GCI worksheet, and is that the one you'll use to come up with what to put in? You're gonna
Command.
teach them how to put it in command, right?
Yep. Yep. So we'll do that. All right. So what we're gonna do here, and if I transition too quick, just let me know.
You guys all on your laptops? Okay, so go, follow him along and go to those places that he's at, so log into command. Everybody there? Raise your hand if you need more time.
What about the people on Zoom? Ooh,
Did
I
somebody?
saw a
raise-
hand, yeah.
Okay. Okay. You ready? Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
All right. So when you come into command, I want you to go down to the applet that says reports. It's the 4th from the bottom. And once we're in here, you're going to go to this top banner, and the 3rd one in says goals. So we're going to jump to the goals. And so for now, what's going to happen is we only currently have our 21 goals in the front, but you also have 22 goals that we're going to enter in. So we're basically just going to take that worksheet that we just made, and we're going to click add goal settings. And it's basically going to tell you what's going to happen in this guide, and we're going to say get started.
You guys
And
there?
let me just close my window and I'll wait for people to tell me to slow down or.
You ready, guys? Okay. Go ahead, Anthony.
All right, and so just make sure you're doing next year, 2022. And what's our annual profit? So this for Jess was $75,000.
So you guys plug in that number that you came up with. Anthony, can you go back? Or can you tell me, did the expenses and costs of sales automatically fill in?
They will not. No, you have to do your own math on those.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so I think,
It was 56,250.
yeah. That's 56,250 on each side of that. And then we do our makeup. So we're actually, if you look at this, we're going right down that chart. So she was 20% listing, 80% buy.
And
Our
that's
average.
for you guys too, because your first couple of years, you probably are going to work with more buyers than you will with listings. So I think 80-20 is a great number.
And we put on our average commission, which we averaged out to about 10,000.
Yep.
And so now we're going to talk about conversion rates. And so this kind of gets a little complicated. So what I would do is I would actually just keep in what they have here for most of these. But what they're saying is when I get a lead or I get someone at an open house, what's the chance I create a relationship with them and they become a contact, someone I'm sending marketing to consistently? And then out of all the contacts in my database on this next line, how many of them do I set up appointments with? And so for Jess, what we're going to think about is how many appointments did we say she had? 36
Yeah, she has to set up 36
appointments for the year.
consultations.
Okay,
For
Just for
buyers.
buyers though, yeah.
just for buyers. So, and then how many for sellers?
6.
6, so 42 appointments total.
Yep.
So if she has to do 42 appointments total and she has a 10% contact to appointment, so how many contacts become appointments was 10%. That means she needs 420 people in her database.
And by the way, not just in your database, but that you're communicating. with.
Actually marketing to, not just names in
Right.
your phone. Yeah, exactly. They have to be on touch plans, getting hit 30 plus times a year.
So are you guys able to fill those out? And honestly, if I were you, I'd leave the default settings for now until you have your own information, right, Anthony?
Yep, exactly. But just so you're all aware of what's happening, we're just looking at this funnel of how do we get people to the next step? And then what are those conversion rates that we already talked about in the math on that other worksheet?
Yes. Are you
And
guys
if you
ready?
hit- Sorry.
I was just saying, are they ready to move on?
Yep. So actually, that's it. That's the entire process.
Okay, now where does it tell them how many appointments they have to go on and schedule? There's a place that tells them what they're supposed to be doing, right?
Yep. So if you view the goals, and I'm going to go look at my 22 goals because I just filled them in. Technology is being fun. You might have to wait till this loads because we still got 2 months, 27 days till it loads up for the new year.
Right.
But when you're looking at it, let's just go back. I'll go back to my real year. So my goal was 34 units, which means I needed 46 under contract, 62 exclusives, 82 appointments kept. So I made my ratios really low, which bumped up all the numbers.
Okay, so how do they know they're on track?
So there's actually going to be this pinwheel. So like last year, I tracked 9 appointments set, 9 appointments kept, 3 agreements.
Yep.
So you can see I didn't actually put in all my information correctly, so I can go back and fix those.
So how do they put their information in so that it tracks?
So you have to put it in your opportunities. So any of those line items in your opportunities, you have to say the date in which you went under agreement with them, the date you went under contract, and the date you closed.
And they can start right from when they create an opportunity, right?
Yep,
It will give them information right from that. From
exactly.
that breakdown. Can you go into opportunities and after you're done with this and just show them? where
Yeah, I'll do that right now. So I'll just grab you a random. So right in here, when you're in the opportunity, you just want to make sure this section is filled in.
So if you go, every time you have an appointment, or, and correct me, Anthony, if I'm wrong, every time that you're going to schedule an appointment to meet with somebody, you create an opportunity.
Yep.
And then you continue to fill out those, what it's estimated closing date, appointment it starts at appointment schedule, right? And then-
Yeah, so when did we actually say, hey, we're gonna meet? And like on this version, so last October, we said we're gonna meet 3 days later, and that was our actual appointment. And then when they signed their exclusive buyer agreement was a day later.
Okay, and then.
And then we went under contract the following July to close in August.
Yep, okay, so every time you fill those in, if you guys are consistently doing that, and you've got your goals filled in, you can go back to the screen Anthony will take you to, and it's gonna show you if you're on target to meet your goals or not.
Yep. And so one thing that was interesting about this year, and you just saw an example of it, I had appointments in 2020 that closed in 2021.
Yeah.
And so some of my appointments from 2020 ended up being under contracts and agreements this year, even though they were appointments last year.
So can you explain your goals versus actual? So you have 0 leads in there, is that? Why?
So this year I got 19 leads, which accounted for 0% of what they said I would need. But kind of what the math I put in, I realized later the percentage of which I needed leads was wrong.
Okay,
So I wouldn't focus too much on this half. I would more focus on contacts.
okay, so in your contacts, you needed 354, is that right?
If I had 0, so they always start in the position of you have nothing, I would need to get 2,000 new contacts. I added 350 this year.
So you added 16% of what you should have.
Exactly.
According to your numbers, what
Yep.
you wanted to do.
Yep. And so when I built this out last year, I was super aggressive about the conversion being low. I should have made it higher because I didn't need to make it as crazy with these numbers. But basically, these are the goals. These are the actuals.
Okay,
So my goal for appointments was 82, but I had 9.
okay, gotcha. And same with agreements, your goal was 62?
And I had 3, but that's also not accurate because I'd have to go through and audit them because I definitely had more than that.
Yeah. So you guys, you gotta make sure that you're putting the information in that opportunity or else this doesn't work. And I'm gonna raise my hand right now and tell you that I'm not always good about that. And so be better than me. Be better than me.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Huh?
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
No, be better than me. Honestly, it's a great
Well,
idea.
especially when you're starting out.
Yeah,
It's a good idea to track yourself, just to understand what you're doing, what you need to do and how it worked out.
right. Absolutely. That's awesome. Oh, do you want to admit Sharon, Kathy?
I don't know.
Up there on the blue button. Right there. Okay. Awesome. So was that it, Anthony?
For goal setting, yes.
Okay,
If you want, because I went through the profiles today, we can
Yeah.
probably send out all the instructions on that if you want, because I feel like I'd take up a good portion of your class.
so we have another hour, so you're good if you,
All
if
right.
you're fine.
Good, perfect.
And I want you guys to follow along and do it while he's showing you, so that maybe you already did it in orientation, is that correct, Anthony?
They should have done a good portion of it, but I don't set up all of them.
Okay, so follow along with Anthony and you'll have, it's important, I can't tell you how many leads I get just because my listings show up on Zillow and I have a profile in there and I put my, I have people give me reviews in there and the map of all my listings is in there. Anthony, do you have yours up to par for Zillow? Do you want to show them yours?
Yep, I can share it.
The way.
So when you go to Zillow, the big thing you're going to do is just go into the agent hub. And you can sign up for an account there. And what you're going to go do is you're going to put in all the information for like, obviously your brokerage information, but also past sales. And you can add all those in. And you're going to add in links to websites and different social media accounts. So what they'll allow you to do is you can actually just say, you know, this is my profile, this is my license number, associate yourself with the brokerage. And then it's an easy walkthrough just to like do profiles. So if you just do edit, it brings you to an edit profile page.
And this is where they're gonna start meeting, and we're gonna talk about that later. Their bios and their value propositions and whatnot to you guys. So we're gonna try to work on that today. and this is gonna probably be the driest class of all.
Yep, so if you just, honestly, if you just go to Zillow.com, there is a link right at the top that has the agent hub. And you're just gonna want to sign up for that if you haven't signed up already,
Or sign in.
or sign in.
Is it complimentary or do you have to pay for
Yep,
it?
so yep, you're already covered because you have a license. They put every agent in the system.
You guys all there?
And so is everyone good right now?
Raise your hand if you need more time. Raj? Okay, yeah.
Yes. I'll be locked out of
Jamie?
my account.
You're locked out of your account? Oh, that's great.
Who is that?
Tim is locked out of his account.
Is that Tim Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay.
Any advice for him?
Yeah, hold on. Have you logged in before, Tim?
Yeah, I have. I just sent a request for a new password to see if that'll change anything.
All right, let me know if anything happens there.
And Anthony, if you just want to bring them there and show them where they need to fill out, and then skip to the next thing, they can take notes too.
Yeah, so the main thing you want to do is you're going to sign into it and it's going to bring you to like the Zillow Premier agent page, which is what we're looking at right here. And really, if you do the drop down at the top right and you just go through each of these sections, you can fill out the profile pretty easily. And the main thing I would recommend, if you do have past sales, just make sure you claim them.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't start until just a few years ago, and we've already got almost 200 listings in there. Past sales, I should say, in there, and you'd be surprised how quick they grow.
Mm-hmm. So actually, if I do this. Let me just grab 1 second. I'm gonna go grab a sale I've already had that I haven't put in yet.
And it's really easy to do. And it's really easy to ask for reviews too. And now I've noticed that some of the other places like Realtor.com and I think it was Homes.com maybe.
Mhm.
There were a few of them that said, do you want to import your Zillow reviews into our page? Which I did. So they're talking to each other now. Have you noticed that, Anthony?
Mhm. Yeah, they're starting to integrate more, which is great, but look at, all I did was search for the property. And the
Yeah.
property came right up. And then I just have to pick the date in which it was sold, pick that I was the buyer, show it on my profile, and it's it. And so what you're gonna have to do is just, that sale didn't end because they're butts. So this is one of the things that I have issues with Zillow, is that they've changed how they add sales. So I haven't used it as much. I know you use it a lot, Judy.
Yeah.
And so let me just work this one. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me.
So sometimes and correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony. sometimes if you're the buyer's agent and the listing agent doesn't put you in
They
there.
didn't add me in the MLS feed, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The listing agent is supposed to say who the buyer's agent was for the property, and they're supposed to put all the information and the sold date and all of that in there. And once they do that, it populates to places like Zillow, Realtor.com, and all of those other places, and it will allow you to select it as your sale. But if
Yeah,
that listing agent didn't do that correctly,
And sometimes the listing agent will add you on sale for a property you didn't sell, which has happened to me twice this year. So that's just working with your co-broks and telling them, hey, I didn't sell that house. Thank you for the credit.
right,
But I didn't sell that. So, and this one actually, so this is why, if you go under, I'm looking up this sold that I sold on Quaker Road in Worcester. It's not listed as a sold property.
oh, so she never even reported it
So
as.
she did not record it as a sold, so I can't claim it. So now I have someone to call today. So thank you, Judy.
You're welcome. So guys, I mean, we spend a lot of time on these different profiles, and it's because they bring you business, honestly. Every time, I shouldn't tell this secret, but I have gotten probably 2 to 3 calls a year in Winchendon from somebody looking me up on Zillow and
Mhm.
finding out that I sell a lot of stuff in Winchendon. Even though that's not one of my preferred towns, it probably should be, and I've added it as to my profiles in places because people find me. And I've put down my office address as being in Westminster. So the people in Ashburnham, Westminster, and Winchendon find me just because of the way I filled out my profile. So it is important that you go to all these different places and create profiles. Anthony, how about if you just list some of the places they should go? And they're easy as this.
Yeah.
This Zillow place is easy to set up, and if you guys, I will start writing what places they should set up their profiles.
Perfect. Yep. So one other one I do want to add is you want to go to realtor.com, but the link you want to go to is accounts.move.com. And that's the professional side of realtor.com. It's not the consumer side. And so as you can see, I don't update my Zillow one often. This is like a personal choice. And Judy, you update yours a lot. I generally tend to go realtor.com. And so I think there's an important thing to say about that is just like we were talking about, Kelly picked her niche and she is in multifamilies and rehabs and those types of properties. Picking what you're going to focus on online too, because you're not going to update every single one of these. There's too many profiles to go through all the time.
Yep.
So you just got to pick the one that you're going to do the most.
Yes, absolutely.
And so mine is realtor.com.
Okay. Any place else they should be going and initially at least setting up a profile?
I would say definitely anything that's going to be consumer facing. So realtor.com, Zillow.com. You can also just update Trulia, but know that Trulia and Zillow are the same profile. So if you set up Zillow, it should match on Trulia, but you should just go make sure it's all set up.
Okay, how about homes.com?
Homes.com is another one. And then make sure your profiles in MLS are really good,
Okay,
because the MLS profile is what's going to be shown when you send people updated listings and they click on stuff. They're going to see things from that profile.
okay. How about HomeSnap? Should they be using HomeSnap?
Yep. And I follow the same rule. Find what you're going to use. Make sure all of it's up to date and like at least make sure it's all correct information.
Yep.
But you're going to grow in one place. You can't grow 100% in all of them.
Okay, can you talk to us about Facebook now?
Yep, definitely. So let me just go to Facebook. So Facebook's actually a fairly easy setup.
So you guys, raise your hand if you already have a Facebook business page. Not Raj. You do not?
But I have it on Facebook.
You're on the
But I
Facebook,
didn't have a business page.
but you don't have a business page? Okay, how about you guys at home? Is there anybody that does not have a business page? I think Raj might be the only one, so a quick,
Okay.
just a little quick thing, Anthony should do it. But what should they be posting on there?
So you can kind of do any type of marketing you want. And I would recommend, because we're at low inventory, you're going to want to talk about that narrative of there's a lot of low inventory and kind of show that. And so you can use other people's listings in the office, ask for that and market those, because most new agents won't have their own.
Are you guys hearing that? You guys can market listings on your Facebook pages. You're looking for buyers. So what I'm gonna suggest you do is go through our MLS for Keller Williams Realty North Central. Find some listings you love that you think are great buys. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
And ask the agent if you can advertise it on Facebook.
And the easiest ones to get yeses on is find someone who's been on the market a little bit longer than normal.
Yep. Absolutely. So this is what Anthony's business page looks like. Can you admit Stephanie, Kathy? So this is Anthony's business page.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the click?
Yep.
Okay. So do your business pages look like this, guys? Or something like this? Looks a lot different than his personal page would look, right?
So here, I'm just going to actually show it to you from if you were looking at it on your own, not as me.
Oh, I like that use app. You can put your app in there.
Yep. So you can add basically any button you want on this. And I added the app as the go-to link.
That's awesome.
And so the other thing you can add too, but this adds a little layer of things, but they'll give you walkthroughs on Facebook and I recommend you go through them. But any of these like manage page buttons on the left-hand side, you can go to resources and tools and they'll tell you how to set up certain things. So one thing I've added is like an automated response system of like, if someone clicks message and asks for an appointment, it will schedule the appointment with them and ask them when do they want to do it. Or when they first click on message, it's like, what do you need? Are you looking to buy? Are you looking to sell? Are you looking to do other stuff? So if you go into these resources and tools, they'll tell you basically what you need to do. And a lot of it's going to be easy stuff like starting live videos, but even setting up advertising and doing other small things, they'll show you how to set up all these different links.
And so I'm not very tech savvy, guys, as you know. But one thing that I always do is I always post my open houses and my listings on here on Facebook, and I always boost posts. And you can go and select who you want to boost that post to. And we did an open house this weekend and it went out to over 800 people based on the criteria that I put in there, the advertisement. So that was good, I thought.
And so one of the big things too is like on Facebook, you have your little compliance things, like you have to show KW North Central somewhere on your page so that they know what brokerage you're a part of.
Yeah.
But as far as like using it, I use the publishing tools a lot. And so, excuse me, every Monday, the New England region puts out like a social media campaign for you. So every Monday at 2, they're going to give you like 3 to 4 different posts to make, and I'll just create them right in the publishing. And so I can just come in here, I can post to my Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and I can just schedule out those 4 posts that they give you. And so that's just one way of keeping it like current all the time. And like, I'll just put those posts every time it comes out, add those 3 posts on Monday. They're scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. However many they give you, you just add those. And so then I have a consistent stream of things being posted. Because I'm all about removing thinking. If you don't have to think about it and create it and work too hard, at least have that as a foundation.
So I think I have on my Facebook business page, like my name and then Keller Williams North Central, like in the logo, like the top.
Mhm.
Do I need the picture of our like emblem or our logo?
So for mine, I got away with it, doing it just here. So you land on the page, you see it immediately.
Okay.
If you don't have it in the picture, I do recommend putting it like in the name here.
That's what I have. Okay,
Yep,
perfect. I just
Either's
wanted to
fine.
make sure. Okay,
Either's fine.
oof, thanks.
Either's fine. It does, the main thing, the question is, if someone went on your page, do they know you work at Keller Williams? If you can say confidently yes, right when they land there, they can see that, then you're fine.
Right. Absolutely.
Can you see that?
And I can't tell you guys that you're gonna get X amount of listings, X amount of sales from using your business page. But I do get at least 3 or 4 a year from my business page.
Mhm.
And mostly they're people in my towns that have learned that I sell real estate and been reminded through the Facebook pages.
And that I've had a similar experience. So my experience has been, if you're looking for new business and you're trying to get new business, Facebook's probably not the best way to do it, because the business you'll get will take very long to close. And it's going to be very like people you don't have a good relationship with. So you'll spend a lot of time trying to get that relationship to the place where you can have an appointment. But I use it for all the people I already know.
Yes.
So that's my
Exactly.
target. I'm talking to people who are already in my database, and it's just follow up so that they remember I'm a realtor all the time. Like that's all I'm trying to do, is just continually remind people I'm working right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the industry, I'm selling houses, I'm actually in it. And to be honest, consumers won't know the difference if you listed the property or someone else did, even if you write it right in the post.
That's right.
You took another agent said, Donna Millette listed this property last week in Shrewsbury. They're just going to see you posting about a house.
Yep.
And so
That's
you just want that reminder to be continually going.
That's right. Well, Anthony, thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions for Anthony before we let him go?
Anthony, when are you back from your honeymoon? Anthony, when are you back from your honeymoon?
I'll be back next Tuesday. So a week from tomorrow.
All right, I gotta set something up with you.
All right, sounds good. Just shoot me an
Enjoy
email.
your time, Anthony.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Anthony.
all your help.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kathy, what are we supposed to be doing next?
I don't know where the,
Right there, the little green button.
this one,
Yep,
I'm clicking.
try
it.
again. Okay, and now the blue.
There. There,
Doesn't matter. There you go.
I think we're going back to elevator speech and,
first, we're gonna take a quick break,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You guys, 5-minute break.
And there's coffee and donuts in the back, you guys.
So apparently I was locked out because it never actually went through all the way.
Oh, so did you fix it?
I think so.
Okay,
We'll see. I've already done all this once. I'm not sure why it didn't. I must not have saved it or something.
okay. So I know it's a lot, all of this technical stuff, or at least for me, it was. But we want to make sure that you're not left behind where technology comes in. I will tell you that every single time I go to an appointment, they say, oh, yes, I saw your Zillow profile. Oh, yes, and they don't say it that way. I went to Zillow and I found you, is basically what they say. So you guys have an advantage over me. I started so long ago, there wasn't computers. And then I didn't embrace the whole technology scene until I came back to Keller Williams 11 years ago. And then it took me a few years to even really realize all of this stuff. I'm supposed to be on Zillow. I'm supposed to have a realtor.com account. I'm supposed to, when somebody pulls up your profile in one of those places, if they see your profile doesn't even have your picture on it, honestly, they don't look any further. They're like, no, I didn't even put the picture up there. So you really have to pay attention to this stuff. And it took me a while. And, you know, told you I have, I think, what did I say, 150 some odd listings in there. And it's cool how they show up on the map where you sold properties so that people can see where your focus really is. But honestly, I should have had 500 in there if I had gone back to, you know, when I first came back to work here. And I just don't have the time to sit and research all of those properties to even remember. When I started here, I learned how to embrace the contacts and the database and all of those technology things, but it took me a few years to really figure out that I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. And so if you start right from the beginning, it's really going to help you so that you never have to go backwards and say, oh yeah, I never put in that property that I sold 5 years ago.
Does MLS track stuff that you sold 20 years ago, 30 years
Well,
ago?
I mean, when I started,
Were you licensed?
there was no
No.
computers, right? And
Oh, you're dating yourself.
yeah, I am. And I gotta tell you, I worked for one company that when I left, and I don't know how she did this, but when I left to move to Florida for 6 years, she took everything that I had listed or sold and put it under her own name.
That's a lovely person.
And I'm like, oh, I don't even know how she could have done that.
And
yet she did. So take credit for your hard work right from the very beginning. And, you know, I didn't even realize that we could do reviews online back then. It all came to me when I went to work here because KW teaches this stuff. And even though it's, in my opinion, dry, boring, tedious,
it works.
It works. It really does work. And I'm sure that I'm not the best at it, but if you're at least as good at it as I am, I told you, I get probably 3 to 4 listings a year from Facebook, and I definitely get listings from Zillow, because as soon as they go on there and they start reading, all of my reviews, knock on wood, are 5 stars. All you need is one person to say something good about you. So just start right from the very beginning, putting them in there, and you know, make sure that you're cultivating that with your clients too, that I'm really going to need your help. So when I send you out my Zillow review request, would you please fill it out? Because I can't tell you, they tell you they love you, they love you, they love you, and then they never answer the Zillow review. So you got to prep them for it, and you got to make sure that you're paying attention to it. I think our 5 minutes are up, Kath.
Okay, I thought so.
All right, value proposition. So who can tell me what that means? Does anybody want to take a stab at it? Are you guys on Zillow too? I mean, you guys online too, sorry.
Once you bring it to the table.
Yeah, why does somebody want to hire me over Kathy? What do I bring to the table? What is my value proposition, right? Kathy, you want to go over the links to show them?
Sure. So I mean, you know, all you have to do is Google in this day and age, and you could pretty much, I think you could probably do brain surgery if you could YouTube it. But so when we first started talking about writing your value proposition, writing your bio, writing your elevator speech, how are all those things the same and how are they all different? And so one of the big differences between like your bio, which is kind of your resume, who you are, what you've done, and a value proposition is your value proposition changes. It's market dependent. It depends who you're talking to. So if I'm talking to a buyer, I offer a different value
perspective.
than if I'm talking to a seller. So a value that I would offer to a buyer would be like, hey, I do this full time. This is my job. You're never gonna call me and I'm gonna say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm
Working.
I'm working, I can't come show you that property. So that's part of what I offer a buyer. When I'm talking to a seller, it's like, hey, I'm part of a team. I got a big team behind me. There's always gonna be somebody on my team. We are all familiar with our properties. We all know somebody's always gonna be there to answer your call, to show up and answer your questions. We will never send a stager without one of us there. We'll never send a photographer without one of us there. That's a value that I add because I'm on a team. So when you're thinking about, of course, your biography, the things you bring to the table, your education, your work experience, all of that goes into your value. It's part of it, but it's not the same as your value statement. Same with the elevator statement. The elevator statement is, and we'll talk about that after, but what we wanted you to know is we're not the experts on value proposition, but for sure, you can find experts on value proposition. And you need to understand your value. You need to be able to, when you meet with a client, it's gotta be right there, front of mind. It can't be like, well, it can't be that. It's gotta be practiced. It's gotta be, and do your research. If you know you're meeting with someone who's interested in multifamilies, then you have to talk about what value you bring to looking at multifamilies. The value.
Or
of-
waterfront properties,
or
or
waterfront, or whatever it
vacation
is,
properties.
but your value to that person is going to be different from your value to somebody who's wanting to sell their house or somebody who's wanting to buy a farm. So understand who you are by doing your biography. Look at it. Look at, how do each of these elements of my bio equate to some kind of value that I bring to real estate. And then when you are thinking about value, think about what are all the possibilities? I have buyers, I have sellers, I have potential, investors. What do I bring to an investor? What I bring to an investor is I understand the bottom line, and I've had investments. I know what that means. So as you're thinking about writing your value statement, think about who you are, what you bring to it, and then what you can bring to each of the possibilities.
So it's not like a resume. And you can put your resume on your, there's a place in your listing consultation where you can add your resume if you want to. But what I like to do is make that resume short and sweet. And instead I'm focusing on why do I care? If I'm a buyer or a seller, why do I care that you've got a master's degree in education? If you're going to use something that you have, you're going to say why it affects the person that you're helping, how it affects them, why is it a benefit to them? And otherwise they don't care. They do not care if you're a doctor. They do not care if you're an attorney, unless there's a reason why that's going to make their life better and it's going to help them. So I want you all to sit down. It has to be unique. And I would like to give you a week to come up with your individual, I want you to have a bio that you'll put on your Zillow and your Realtor.com and all of those places about who you are and what you offer to people for real estate. And then we're going to have you, at the same time, I also want you to be working on your elevator speech. Who can tell me what an elevator speech is?
Wait, I'm gonna get to that slide.
Oh, okay.
Ashley, get me back there.
What?
The green button? Is that how we get back to the?
No,
you're-
you clicked on a link.
Click on that
So-
X, yeah. And go back to the PowerPoint up there. Do you see?
That? I
No,
can't
no,
see.
not there. Get off of there.
Use that little toggle bar and move that down. Click and drag.
Click and drag.
Click the green and drag down. Okay, now go back to your PowerPoint, wherever it was. Is it the boot camp session one with edits?
Yes, is that
Okay,
it?
so go all the way up to the tabs. It's the second one
This
over.
one?
Nope, that's
Yeah.
the one we're on. Go over next one. There you go.
Okay.
So on here, and guys, we're recording this, so you can go and look at the recordings and get some of those websites where it'll help you come up with your bios and everything. And let's talk about,
This is the one that I found that I like the best, this Kevin Ward.
Yes, Masters guy.
Yes, because he's clear and concise, and he talks about exactly what you need, and now actually I'm stuck again.
clear, concise, catchy, and there's got to be a call to action. So can I read you guys mine or
Yeah,
the
so-
Scotland teams?
Concise, catchy, clear, and a call to action.
Okay, you ready? This is what it says on my Facebook page. We help home sellers and buyers save thousands of dollars by negotiating their best deals and managing their transactions from start to close with a superpower team of professionals. We're now licensed in Mass and New Hampshire. Let us treat you like family. I don't know if it's catchy, but to me, we're
It's concise,
basically,
it's clear.
we're talking about how are we gonna help our people? Why do you want to hire us? Because we save you thousands of dollars. Because we know how to negotiate. And basically, that's all you need is some catchy little phrase that you're gonna come up with. The reason we talk about family in there is because we're a family team. So what do you bring to the table? You're a police officer, maybe you bring safety. Different things that, you've been a contractor in your prior life or a designer, and you can help them to design the interior of their home. So you come up with a phrase that says, I'm going to help you make your new home a home, your new house a home, or something like that. Just something that's going to catch them. But yeah, go back to the guy and his website, Kath.
No, I don't know how.
Just scroll up.
Nope.
No?
So go up to the tabs. It's still open. So it's not the tab you're on. Go over to the right. Just
Yeah.
one tab over.
Yeah.
No, the other
I
one.
feel
the
like
right, to
I'm,
the right?
yep, that one.
To the right,
Yes.
okay.
I don't know my lefts and rights, so you can't mess up.
So Kevin Ward. And he's the one who came up with the 4 Cs. And it's just, and another article we read talked about your elevator speech could fit on your voicemail. It could be your voicemail. So when somebody calls and it's, I mean, mine just says, it's a great day to buy a new house. It probably should say, hi, this is Kathy Radley, buyer's agent for the Stars, or whatever it's gonna say. And you should be able to fit it on your voicemail. And also, the reason it's an elevator speech is you should be able to give it to somebody from the 5th floor to the bottom. That's the, the catchiness of being an elevator speech, but and the way that you get new people, I mean, Keller Williams talks a lot about go to the mall, meet new people at the mall, give people hand out gifts to people. Like, you can knock on people's doors and hand them a packet that says, hey, my office sold the house next door. And I know for a fact that 400 people showed up at the open house. So that means there are 399 people still looking for a house in this neighborhood. You can meet people like that and then give your elevator speech. Like, here, I brought you some stats on your neighborhood. And it's just, if you can be as busy as you want to be doing this marketing, but you have to have, and as I said, front of mind, that thing has to be, that elevator speech has to be right there. That value proposition information has to be right there. And you have to be able to tailor it to who you're talking to. But you have to market yourself. You are a business. And you have to, your business should be marketed the way any business is marketed. And that means you. You have to, you are your marketing department. So we get a lot of help from Keller Williams. And they do a lot of good branding for us. And there are a lot of us, a lot of agents. And you can't drive through a neighborhood without seeing at least one Keller Williams sign. So you bring that already to the table, and all of the, you know, technology and research that Keller Williams has behind it. So I would, I think, include that in any elevator speech I was giving.
So does anybody have one yet? No? Okay. Any of you guys have one out there? Okay, so so we don't have class next Monday because it's a holiday.
But class
We have next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
I don't want to have them homework for this Wednesday. I want to give them a week. So how about your homework for next Wednesday is going to be to do your bio and your elevator speech. And then you're going to practice your elevator speech in class. Can you guys handle that? Yeah.
In your value proposition.
Because honestly, here's what you don't want to do. Hey, Ashley, what do you do for work?
I live here. I don't know. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
That's what we don't want to happen. And we also don't want to say something boring like I'm a realtor. Because guess what? You just bored them to tears. You want to say something like, oh, let me tell you what I do for work.
You can't even believe.
I help buyers and sellers save thousands of dollars when they're purchasing a new home or selling their old home. Well, that's a good start, right? Because how do you do that? All of a sudden, now you're having a conversation. But if you say, I'm a realtor, they go, oh, that's nice. Good for you. There's a million of them.
Happy for you.
Yeah. Don't be pushy with me. So when you say something provoking like that, I save my buyers and sellers thousands of dollars. They want to know how you do that. Tell them how you do that, how you're going to do that. And that's just an example. You guys come up with your own catchy phrase that makes them want to ask you questions. And I think that we'll talk about that next Wednesday. So bring it to class. We're going to have prizes today.
Oh, right.
What are we doing next? We
We
did
already
that.
did this. We did this with Anthony, so we're good.
Oh,
We're gonna talk
branding.
about branding.
So you see that buffalo plaid there? The reason you see that is because the Scotland team has plaid as one of their branding tools. And the reason why is Scotland, right? Scotland plaid.
What could you do with a name like Scotland?
Right.
Plaid.
And you can see some other stuff over there.
Yeah, the tartans are really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so people recognize us just because it's catchy again. So come up with something like that.
If you see our signs, they have the plaid on them. If we have even plaid shoes,
Yeah.
but
Oh, no.
I can't say we wear them often.
we don't
but-
wear them. We have them.
But once in a while.
But I said to Judy, there's actually an agent in our office, and you probably all know who she is, who is branded with her dog. You don't see a picture of her without a picture of her dog in the picture. So when you see that, you automatically think
So she's a genius, marketing genius
she's
that
a
way.
marketing genius.
And first of all, who's she appealing to? What she's telling you without ever opening her mouth is, I understand pet owners. And I'm going to help you find a pet-friendly home, or I'm going to help you sell your home to pet-friendly people, or I'm going to take your pets into consideration when we're marketing your home. All of that with just a picture of herself with her pug. So you guys brand yourself however you want to. There's a lot of people that brand themselves with their horses if they're selling equestrian properties, or if you wanted to have a niche and make that part of your branding, you could do that. Start putting that together. Who are you? How do you want to be known? Who are you going to relate to?
What separates you from every other of the thousands of agents?
Yep.
What makes you unique? And how can you demonstrate that in a picture or in a couple of words?
So along with your homework for next week, you're going to do the bio, you're going to do your elevator speech, and you're going to tell me what ideas you're thinking about with branding. Like, what are you going to do to stand out? Some people, we don't have our picture on our signs or our business cards. We have our plaid and our logo, and that's what we are being known by. But you guys might want to have your picture there. You might want to have your picture there with your dog. You might want to have, I don't
Or
know.
your cat?
Exactly, whatever it is. I want you to start thinking about your branding and share your ideas with us by next Wednesday. You guys good with that? So you got 3 things to do for your homework.
But the branding piece of it can be really a lot of fun, and we worked really hard. We met with marketing people. We've had marketing consultants, and in the end, the thing that worked the best for us was, you can't look at plaid without thinking about Scotland, so.
Yeah.
And we did that all by ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so who do I call? This is gonna be a game, right?
You have the prizes too, right, Ju?
I do. How about you get everybody ready? I'll go get the prizes.
All right, but do you want to start the game without you?
Yep.
Because I'm not sure I know the answers.
Oh, you know the answers.
All right. All right, here we go. These are the questions. Who do I call if I changed banks and my check didn't get deposited?
Do we do
Linda.
screen? Linda. Yeah.
Everybody agrees it's Linda.
Or Pam if Linda's not here.
Or Pam if Linda's not here. That's right. Okay, my seller won't release the deposit since the buyer backed out.
Your attorney. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, your attorney's a good one. Your attorney's not up there, but actually.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I would definitely call, well, I would always call Judy, and you can too, as long as you're in the mentoring, coaching and mentoring program, and even beyond. She still gets calls from former students about, oh my good Lord, but yeah, Mark, Judy would have to talk to Mark about a deposit not being released at a point. Because, by the way, a lot of these questions are real. I moved and I changed my address.
Kat, Linda, or Pam?
Yep, and the front desk, but probably Pam and Kat, right? Somebody at the front desk.
Are you talking about my back?
It would probably be
Yep.
Kat, right?
Hi.
Oh, and Kat, tell us who else you have to call if you changed your address. We have to call you.
Oh, yes!
And
You
who
do
else?
have to call me because I just sent out an email, I don't know, literally 20 seconds ago, I don't know if that's what we're talking about. Because Linda sent out an email and was like, hey, we changed your information, and an agent or 3 or 5 of you were like, is this legit? So that was legit. And if you do not tell the Commonwealth that you have changed your home, are they gonna like hunt you down? No, but they could be a jerk, and it's technically a finable offense. And I don't know the monetary value, but that seems awfully silly if you have to pay the Commonwealth because you didn't tell them you moved. Like, that's
Okay.
straightforward.
Awesome.
Goes with every other license.
Who do you tell?
Exactly.
Who do you tell in the Commonwealth, the Bureau of
So,
Licensing and?
Yeah, you just log into your portal.
Into the real estate portal.
Yeah, with that you got the nasty portal that your sister really loves.
Yeah, okay, so let's keep going.
I have to put in an offer by 5 o'clock today and it's 3 o'clock now.
Judy.
Oh. All right, everybody unmute and go ahead and feel free to yell out the answers to the questions. So hopefully you're not calling me to say, I don't know how to log into Commando DocuSign when you're doing that at 3 o'clock for a 5 o'clock offer.
Well, you have that, right? Mostly that's me. Most of these questions came from me, by the way.
Yeah. All right, how about next?
What next? I can't find the Zoom link for Coaching Corner.
Judy or Anthony.
Chris Gage.
Anthony.
None of them just go.
Definitely Anthony.
There you go.
That's a good answer, but yeah, Judy, Sharon, if
Yeah.
she's in the office, Anthony, somebody
Front
at the
desk.
front desk, they have it on the
They know my,
calendar.
they know the Zoom
Or
link.
check your Google training calendar.
Yeah,
Yep, your Google training calendar. Did we make sure that was the right one? Perfect. So guys, guess what? If you are texting me while I'm already in Coaching Corner to tell me you forgot the link or you don't know how to find it, I can't answer you. I'm not even looking at your texts at that point, because I'm giving the people in Coaching Corner my undivided attention. So don't go to me at that point, then go to that one right over there.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, no, call us. All day long, that's what I do. Pam does, answers the phone. I just answered a question, like, there's no stupid questions. So if you can't find the link or you can't get a hold of Judy and it's between 9 and 5.
Yep.
978-840-9000.
Yep,
can
All right.
can you sing that?
what's next?
I do in my sleep.
I'm meeting a client at the office on
Get off
Saturday
my ass.
and I forgot how to get in.
Oh.
That's what you
Leave it
need.
in your passwords, in your notes, in your phone.
Yeah.
You said it funny. Somebody should know.
Yep. You guys, put all those passwords in your phone. I don't care if you make a contact, you set up a note, whatever it is that's gonna help you. You need those and you may not remember them, so, worst case scenario though, you're standing at the door on a Saturday morning and you've got clients with you and you can't get in. Call me and I'll give you my password. Oh, did I just say that out loud?
No. It seems silly, like take the 2 seconds because they're different for each building.
Yes, and I meet clients in Westminster a lot, because that's where I live, and,
But that one's easy,
that
right?
one's easy.
2, 4, 6, 8.
We appreciate.
That's just a lockbox.
Judy told me to do that a long time ago. I have a contact in my phone and it's the exact notes to get into Bolton and and the phone number is the code to get into Bolton. So the directions on in case I forget. And then you in theory, you should all know the pin to get into Leominster because you made that pin. I didn't make that pin.
Right. But they still might forget,
So
so.
just as an aside, if you're meeting clients on a Saturday in the office, be prepared that you're probably gonna be alone there and make sure you're safe.
Yeah,
Don't.
make sure you don't meet strangers here on a Saturday that you could be here alone, or even in the evening when you could be here alone.
If I have to clean up blood, I'm gonna kill you all. Because Mark's not gonna be cleaning that blood up. It's gonna be me. Maybe I can make Anthony
Just
do
have
that.
the carpets cleaned.
Yes,
Right.
yes. I would be
would.
super mad.
And
We'll
we
get
don't want them to
Coca-Cola.
work on
Scotch
Monday
guard
and have
down.
the big outline of the body.
Right.
I'm gonna be super annoyed
That's
if I.
not funny.
I'm gonna call Tim. That's what I'm gonna do. Tim, who do I call for crime scene cleanup? That's the swear.
They're pro, like it never even happened.
I'm gonna be super annoyed.
All right, next.
Next,
Not gonna be sad you died.
I don't remember the code to the copy machine.
Again, your passwords in your phone.
I know how many times I'm getting called on this.
Definitely Kat, right?
No, so
Well, I always use Judy's because I don't remember mine.
I told them when they did this, that the answer shouldn't be called Cat. The answer should be called Mark's
Copycat.
Angels or
What do you
Mark's
want me to do?
Girls, because don't necessarily email Cat. You have to email the front desk. The front desk happens to be Cat, but every once in a while, people email me at my personal email and I don't pay attention to that, especially 9 to 5. So if you email my personal email, which I'm not gonna tell you, you can go find it, but if you email that, I'm not gonna pay attention. Anthony knows this more times than not. I think he's on. That he calls me and he can't get me on my cell phone from 9 to 5, so he just calls the front desk because he knows I'm paying attention to that number. Or my phone's upside down and it's on do not disturb.
Yeah.
So the answer to a lot of these I know is jokingly Cat, but
It's call the front desk.
it's called the front desk.
If we say cat, that means call the front desk.
Yeah, because then I don't want you to set you up for, oh, I called Cat. You
Alright.
call me at 12 AM, I'm not picking up.
We're running
Well,
out
if
of
you're
time.
looking for the code to the copy machine, probably you're here.
Right, exactly. And I'm
So
like,
go find Cat.
Keep going, we're running out of time.
Oh, sorry. I have an open house in 2 days and I don't have a sign.
Front desk cat.
Front desk.
Cat at the front desk.
Cat at the front desk. All right, good. You got
For
guys.
sale, I got a bunch.
Yeah, you can buy them there.
So we have a little store here. If any of you don't know that, we have a little store. And in fact, in a minute, the people that are here live, they're gonna get their business cards out and ready, and we're gonna put them in
Oh, animal.
a bowl, and we're gonna choose one of them, and they're gonna get to pick a sweatshirt, which we sell in the office. We have a little store
They look
here,
cozy.
and we sell lots of stuff here. And so, can you guys see these?
Ooh, ah.
Ooh, we were gonna have Kat be Vanna and show it off, but we'll just hold them up, and you can, if we don't have the right size, you can talk to Kat and trade it in for the right size. Or whatever, but you have to be here live in order to qualify for the gift every class, so. But we do have a store, and we have lots of stuff in that store. We have sign writers and signs and open house signs and notes and
Cats, yeah.
all kinds of different things. Thank you
Yeah, thank you
cards.
cards.
Keep that in mind, guys. Okay, what's next?
I don't know how to open the lockbox for my showing and I'm on the front step with my buyer. That was me. Yet again.
So sometimes like this, I feel like you should call the list agent because some of the lock boxes are super.
Some of the
tricky.
lockboxes are rusted shut.
Yeah, or they're jammed, or the key is now stuck in between. So you have to like rattle and hit it like your Fonzie from like Happy Days.
Sometimes they give you the wrong.
Code,
That's right.
yes,
Yeah. So
yeah.
sometimes it definitely is called a list agent unless you're just looking at the thing and it doesn't look familiar at all and you can't find where the numbers are. And Judy says, lift the little flap in the front.
Yeah, usually I'll say, send me a picture of it, and I'll tell you what the tricks are, especially the older ones. Sometimes those are really tricky.
Yeah.
But
The listing says Supra. What's a Supra?
So a Supra key, when I first started, we had 3 options. It was off your phone as an app, the little like vibrating like gray and blue thing that was like every time you'd mess up, and you have to update it every day. And then
Yes.
this little black thing.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's just on your phone.
Put it in its cradle.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yeah.
Now
or
it's
plug it
all on
in.
your phone and good luck.
now
because-
it's just an app, absolutely, and you contact MLS PIN. If you go on MLS PIN, there's a whole section on Supra. You can get the locks, you can get the apps, or you can go right on and you'll download the app, and it's like $15 a month.
Not
Thank you,
many
Kat.
listings in our area.
Yes. Yeah.
Supra.
Near Sudbury used to have them like
And
Boston.
the closer
Sudbury.
you get to Boston, the more
Mhm.
people are apt to
The
have.
further east you go, I feel.
Mhm.
Because
I just got
here,
this phone call for the first time on Friday. Hey, my name's showing assistant. It's 11:28 and I have a showing at 11:30. What's a super key? I literally almost pissed my pants because I was like, what? No one's ever called me and
there
I was like,
wasn't even a plan.
what? No, yeah, I got what's the address you're at, lady? And she's like, oh, I think the showing agent's called me. I'm like, that's awesome. Okay, bye, click.
Yeah.
It's a team that I know.
There's
that's
nothing you
supposed to
can
be using.
do. You used to be able to say to somebody in the office, can I just for a minute borrow your super key and I'll bring it right back, and you're not
No, you
supposed to
could
do that
never
right
do
away.
that, by the way.
Judy will tell you you're not supposed to ever do that, but now you can't because it's on people's cell phones. So I don't know who here has a super key, but I'd like to make friends with you because I tried to get one.
MLS Shrewsbury, and
Yeah,
I have one if you ever need one, Kathleen.
Even if you have to go in there, Kathy, to straighten it out,
Oh my
you can
goodness.
get one.
I think they're
All right.
gonna become more popular.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they probably. Okay, I'm supposed to call Nick Marr. Who is he and what's his number? And one of us actually got that call.
Oh, no, it's a realtor association. Oh, I want to, that's so cute though. I love being innocent.
Okay,
And not to leave Anthony out. I can't get into command.
Anthony.
Everybody knows. If it's technology, call Anthony,
right,
right?
exactly. All right, guys, I hope that you found today was helpful, and I hope that it's gonna be just a good start to the next few
Because
weeks.
we're gonna build on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. And so on Wednesday, can you tell us a little bit about what we're gonna do on Wednesday?
No, I don't know.
No? Session 2 is working with buyers.
Oh, session 2 is fun.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all the steps in working with buyers. We're gonna add a contact to command. We're gonna talk about DocuSign. We're gonna actually play and set up contacts in our own places, and you guys are gonna each get practice in, so that you don't have to call me and say, oh, I have a buyer who wants to make an offer and I don't know how to log in and I don't know how to put them in command and I don't know how to blah, 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 blah. And you're gonna practice that. You're all gonna have a fictitious buyer and you're gonna play, we're gonna play with those. So we're really gonna start practicing like you're actually out there doing stuff. We're gonna play, show me this beautiful home too. So we're gonna do some role playing and all of that. So where did that
Right there.
bucket go? Okay. Who wants to pick?
Get everybody's card.
Do I have everybody's card? Okay, Kathy, I'll let you pick because you're not in there. Oh, Raj, you want the sweatshirt. You want red or black? You want the red, okay. Here you go. If it's not the right color, talk to Kat. I mean, not the right size, talk to Kat. Maybe you can trade it for another one. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming. I hope that you'll come back on Wednesday. And we're gonna have good prizes like this every single class. So if you come in person, that makes you eligible for the prizes.
Is it a sign next week?
I don't remember, but we are giving away signs and open house signs and all kinds of really good